Abner, what you see here are leftover skeletons from yak, steer, other four-legged mountain creatures. And right here, there's a sleeping furry creature. Looks like a cub of some sorts.
Okay.
Yuriko, the chamber behind you suddenly gets very bright, and you kind of feel a little bit of heat. You hear the frost giant running into the room.
Oh.
He's like,
Come back here, you!
he gets cut off mid-sentence, and there's like a little burst of flame, and you just hear, "Gah!" And then shards of ice spill out this way, and then the commotion just stops. Philomena pokes her head out. She's fine.
What did you do?
Grellos, go ahead. The threats are gone. I'll bring you guys to the cave. Inside the room you're currently in, you can feel the draft coming in from the other side, signaling that there is a cave entrance further ahead. But you hear snoring, and at your feet there are mountain lion cubs.
Oh, that's what they were.
Okay.
Cubs.
We'll start from the top of initiative again, so Philomena does not do anything. Abner, go ahead.
The exit is this away, and there's mountain lion cubs. Okay. Can I try and silently step over these things without cracking them?
Yes, you can. Do a stealth check, please, and move half your speed.
Roll. 28.
28, no problem. The creatures stay asleep as you move silently along the bones. You notice that some of the bones are humanoid, but most of them are like deer, stag, and like other creatures that kind of roam the wilderness.
These are cubs, right?
Yes.
I have not seen Mama. Okay. Continue moving.
There are two other sleeping mountain lions. They are much larger than the cubs.
Okay.
There they are.
Grellis,
I would like to go over these bones.
you still have to be stealthy. Don't make too much noise. So stealth check.
First square, right? Critically failed.
Okay, so you fly all the way across to this side, right? And as you do, you swoosh these bones so they like move in all directions.
You guys are with the babies. I'm with the adult.
They will all wake up. They seem a little distraught and a little confused, so they start to whine to call their parents. Yuriko, you hear this.
Yeah, I hear this, and then I see the club right there. I'm going to shift into a mountain lion, matching like their pattern style, and
Yes.
I will like casually go over and like lick them and make sure they go back to sleep.
Do a nature check. They surround you, and they don't recognize you fully, but you are very friendly to them.
34.
Wow.
Using your druid sense, match the scent of the cave as much as you can. They run around you in the darkness. They can't really see very well, so they just accept it. Yeah, she's a friendly mountain lion lady. They lick you back as you're grooming them, while Grellis just kind of watches awkwardly, unsure if you should look away or not. You soothe them to sleep, and they will move out of your way and return to slumber.
I druided.
You druided the shit out of that right there. That was fantastic. Good job, Yuriko. They will not bother you for the rest of the night. They're going to sleep like, well, babies. Abner, go ahead. There are two sleeping adult mountain lions over there. I'll bring you guys into the other room so you all can see.
Oh dear.
I say we just stab them to death and let
No!
them all die.
I will eat your face off.
Yeah, let's kill them all.
I will growl at you.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna stealth.
They're just sleeping and they have babies.
22.
Don't be a dick.
You're fine. You arrive at the outside. Grellos, it is your turn.
Where did it go?
Good, you can't teleport.
I can actually. I'll do that.
What?
Quietly though. Teleport.
I would like to quietly teleport. That's not natural in this world.
The portals are totally fine.
Yeah, the portals are totally cool.
All right.
It's just-
You use your ability to effortlessly move between them, and you appear on the other
Yes, but
side.
was it quiet?
Well, it depends. Is it like in the one where you like get ripped up into little tiny pieces and you're like, or is it more like Nightcrawler, where it's just like a little?
I guess it's not Nightcrawler.
That's fine. I'll allow it.
I have a portal gun.
Do
That's
you
how it
scream
works.
when you teleport? Does it hurt?
Does it burn?
Do you appear naked like in Terminator?
Yeah, clothes don't teleport. But all my other gear does.
Good job, Grellis. You arrive at the edge of the cave as well. Yuriko, it is your turn.
I'm gonna try to be sneaky. Not the good at the stealth thing. Oh, I'm okay actually. Not that okay. Run! I'll be cool. I'll be cool about it.
Move your speed. So go. Where were you gonna be?
My speed?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, I can move out the cave.
As you're,
I'm just like,
yeah.
the babies are sleeping.
Right when you get to the edge of the cave, both of them awake and they're just kind of confused. They're just kind of like, oh, what's going on? Like, rawr, rawr, just what's going on? You can just flee now, but they are awake.
I want an audio file of David doing every like animal noise he can possibly do.
All right. So you will flee to the outside.
I was never here.
As you can hear the lions kind of like yawning and roaring in the background, Philomena flies also past them. And just like
And incinerates the entire family.
fuck stealth at this point. You see Philomena just barreling through like a fiery missile.
David, were the lions like, rah, rah.
Shut up.
Yuriko just punches him in the throat.
Fuck you. Oh, that's the thing about friends. They will never let you die out something. When was that? Like the first time I went to Mariposa with you guys.
I think so. Because we were talking about what do you do in defense of a mountain lion? You're like, punch him in the throat. It's like, but how? And you're like, they go, rah, rah.
No, so you put your hand down the throat.
Yeah, you just...
Yeah, because that's totally gonna work. As you exit the mouth of the cave, you can feel this wind as it just rolls across you, stinging your exposed skin. It is below freezing outside, and it is nighttime. As you escape out into the night, you can hear the mountain lions behind you commotion among themselves, and one of them follow you out, and you can see it behind you right now, growling at you. But then all of a sudden, it looks upwards, and it flees back into the cave.
Philomena?
Abner, go ahead.
They got scared. So I look up.
Do a perception.
25.
Told you it was going to be a meteor.
You look at the moon, trying to get as much light as you can. It's casting its pale light across the landscape, and all of a sudden, a massive shadow partially covers the moon, and you hear a very familiar sound.
Well.
Yeah, I think that's what we're looking for. Yep. Yep. That is definitely what we're
In the sky above you, you see the outline of a massive beast. Its white scales glisten like the glow white of a skull, and it is circling the area.
You're dead.
It's just going around in circles.
Yeah, it's in the sky right now.
I tell everybody where Lake Vanku is and tell them that they should head there while I search for Azula. In the last spot that I saw her, so I guess I'm gonna try and make my way back to the entrance of the cave where we originally jumped in there. So I wanna try and go there.
You're gonna trek back alone at night.
Unless people stop me, I'm irrational right now.
Abner!
Don't hold me back! Don't hold me back!
Can I do the share site again?
You shift into Azula one more time. While you're viewing through her eyes right now, you see a fire in front of her, like a little campsite. It's very dark. You see two people on the opposite side of the fire speaking amongst themselves.
Can I perceive to hear if I understand?
You hear a gruff, deep, throaty voice. Why are you keeping that beast? It's only gonna slow us down. At best it could serve for some rations. You hear a very familiar voice. I don't like eating dog, and I just couldn't leave it alone like that. That poor thing was just abandoned. Poor creature, it's clearly trained. It was barely conscious when we found it. The figure that's speaking softer walks around and comes up to her. She starts to struggle, but you notice that she is restrained and muzzled. He says, stop moving, you're only gonna hurt yourself. I'm not here to hurt you. Just trying to find out where you came from is all. He's close enough now that the light is illuminating his face. It's Dean.
Saying, it's like, who is, like, man, who is your own, like,
Whoever your owner is, they seem to have trained you well, but you're way too out of control right now. I'm not going to take that muzzle off you until you know you're going to behave. Just rest. You're going to be okay. Are you talking to an animal? You hear the other voice say. Would you cut it out with the tough guy act, you cow? I told you never to call me that. Oh, you know you love it. Do that again and I'll pick my teeth with your spinal cord. Oh, I love it when you talk dirty to me.
Alright, that's funny, but super serious now.
okay.
I bounce back, and I'm just like, Dean.
I look at Yuriko, I'm like, uh-oh.
Dean has.
So you want to know why Grelos is here, Abner?
I put my hand on my sword. Like, why is he here? Why are you here, Grelos?
He's here for you.
How did he find me, Grelos? I've been really good about covering my tracks. How did he find me?
He found an artifact that shows where one thing he wants most in this world is at, and he found you.
Oh, this is not good. I am glad to see him, though.
Really? He wants you dead. I nearly died slowing him down.
He's mistaken, though. He thinks I mean, I did kill his brother, but he doesn't understand.
No, and I don't think he's ever going to.
I have to try. I mean, he has Azula.
You see who else he was with?
Some cow?
Yeah, that cow can probably rip you in half. You're gonna need our help. And for now, that thing is probably the most dangerous thing right now. I look up at the dragon. We should probably get out of its line of sight.
Probably. Oh yeah, so this is what we're doing here, just in case you were ever curious.
It's like getting louder.
I know.
As you're speaking and standing perfectly still, the dragon,
Isn't it like a T-Rex where if you don't move, it can't see you?
you notice it turning its head and looking down.
Get in the cave, get in the cave, get in the cave, get in the cave, get in the cave.
Yeah, let's go back into the cave with the cougars. Like, I'm not being sarcastic. I mean, literally, let's get back in there. I'd rather take my chances with those cats. Well, I know that Dean is a good guy, and I know he's not trying to hurt Azula. He did save her, so I am okay for now.
The creature is descending. Yeah, it starts to rush towards you. Let's place you guys in the cave. And the mountain lions are there, angered that you have come into their home unannounced. And they are growling at you and sneering right now. What do you do?
Let me.
You're a matter of expertise.
So I go into my bag and take out some of my ration and throw it in at them. And,
Right at the face. Hit him right in the face.
well, in front of them.
Okay.
And tell them I apologize for intruding. However, as you know, the white beast is flying ahead, and we would appreciate if we could stay here for the night only.
Do a nature check.
Woo!
I
41.
don't suck at this.
You approach the creatures, speaking to them in your ancient druidic language. To you guys, it sounds like gibberish. Only druids know this language. And the creatures seem to be calming. They don't actually seem that angry at you guys. They seem more terrified of what was outside. But you manage to calm them down as you approach them. As you're handing them the food, they take a quick nibble at it. Instead of staying with you, though, they slink away and go back into the cave where their cubs are.
Yeah,
And they
so
will
we'll
leave
stay here, leave them alone, and they'll leave us alone.
All right, maybe we should one of us stay up. Keep watch, just in case they decide to come and eat us, or something else tries to kill us.
Fair enough.
Who stands watch?
Grelos is exhausted. He just completely agrees and passes the fuck out. It's been a long day.
I'll be like, all right, I'll take first watch. Grelos, you can. Oh, all right.
I'll take the next watch. Philomena can take the watch afterward.
So Abner, you're taking watch as you're all resting in the cave right now. Did you guys light a fire or anything like that?
Nope.
No? Okay,
we
no
probably
fire.
didn't.
Okay, so everyone do an endurance check. It is below freezing now.
But I'm cuddled with Philomena.
Oh, if you're huddling, I'll give you a +2. Go ahead.
I have a coat.
Yeah, you have a +2 to your roll too.
23.
18.
17.
Grelos, you actually managed to withstand the cold for the night. You huddled up. The other two, though, you're still kind of caked in a bit from snow. So the next day, you will have 1 healing surge less. You're just kind of acclimating to the climate a little bit. A couple of hours pass. Abner, you're still at watch.
I'm just sitting around, like, contemplating on what I just saw. I'm, like, drifting in and out into seeing into Azula's eyes, pretty much. Like, I'm trying to see as much as possible.
After a couple of hours have passed, the fire has smoldered out. Azula occasionally drifts in and out of consciousness, but she's weakened and she has a pain in the back leg, so she's not going anywhere. She is bound and muzzled because she's dangerous, but Dean doesn't seem to have any intention of hurting her. He seems to kind of have a soft spot for broken things, as you remembered how he took you and many others into his guild. Meanwhile, you notice that through the silhouette, it's some sort of humanoid creature with horns, is constantly making like half-hearted threats to eat the creature, and Dean just keeps brushing him off.
I'm gonna have to kill him.
As you're keeping watch, do a perception check.
We should eat the cow.
29?
You hear something lands outside in the snow.
No, okay. Well, okay. I wake them up. Hey, yo, we're gonna die. Grellis,
What?
the dragon landed. Get back from the entrance.
We're fine. We didn't light a fire.
But it's on the ground. So I woke them up. We're all alert.
As you're all alert, waiting at the door, you hear large, lumbering footsteps, as if something is dragging itself towards you. The light from the moon is now all but blocked. It stops, and you start hearing a pair of footsteps instead.
What?
Someone walks into the cave, holding a staff that is glowing in amber light. It's filling the room. They're shrouded in a hood that is caked in snow, and the hood seems to be made out of hide pelt that is covering them. They lift their head, and you see two feline ears poking out the side of the head. She beckons to you all. Are you lot stranded here? Do you need help?
Who are you?
How did you
Who are
get
you?
past the dragon? Who are you?
She turns to you, and she doesn't answer your question. Instead, she rushes up to you, gets right in your personal space, and grabs you by the face and inspects your sides.
I growl.
Wouldn't we have like jumped into action?
Well, I grabbed my sword, like in the
And as soon as he like lays hands on Yuriko, I rush and try and tackle her out of the way.
Wait, I see that she's a shifter, right?
Yes.
Oh, then I'm like, no, wait.
Okay, well I essentially made it right next to her before you said wait, so I stopped. I managed to stop right here then.
As she was inspecting you, you noticed that as he was charging at her, she basically reached for her back and like half pulled out a knife. And he stops, she sheaths it again. She smells you. It's been too long, she says. She reverts back to full human form, and she's a very elderly woman. She says, "You were young back then. Like, you may not remember me. My name is Tabitha." You don't remember her name, but she has a very familiar scent. She smells like pine. She rubs the side of your face, and you remember that feeling when you were but a cub.
Ah,
This is Yuriko, is it not?
I know you, but I don't remember you.
I did not know there were other survivors after the ones that we managed to bring together, but it is good to see you here. What are you doing hiding in this desolate place?
Trying to get to the dragon.
Are you speaking of Skadi?
Skadi? Is that the white dragon that's above us?
It's the dragon outside right now.
How were you able to hide from it?
Come, dear. We have much to discuss.
Okay.
She starts walking out.
I'm gonna follow her and beckon Philomena.
I think your entire quest is about to change, bro. We follow too.
You go out into the pale white snowscape. Lo and behold, the white dragon is on all fours, docked at the ground, as if waiting.
Oh my god.
She's a fucking dragon rider. Okay.
Oh my
Tabitha
god.
lifts her staff and she says, "It's like, I found another one, another straggler, and she brought some friends too." The dragon, you hear her speaking without moving her mouth. A voice carries on the wind. It doesn't seem too large. I think I can carry them. A frost is coming. It's going to be even colder. The dragon is now within arm's reach of all of you. Every step she takes shakes the earth. "Did you see them?" she says. "The agents of Isvander."
So we killed
Yes.
them.
"Then it is as I feared. We have much to discuss. Climb on my back, and I shall take you back to the village." Back to the
I
village.
apprehensive and I will go down Philomena instead.
Grelos is like, I'll pass. I can fly myself.
I will climb on Grellis's back. Okay, fine. I was just like, what's going on here?
I don't know.
Tabitha answers your question. She says, "Isvander's agents are awakening again and seek to bring him back into this world. We must stop him.
Oh dear.
Who's this Vander?
We must stop it, to be more accurate. We must leave now. Others may come."
Okay.
Have you seen a direwolf around?
"There are no direwolves in this region. I'm sorry, I have not seen one."
I know that Zula is safe for now, so I am going to chill and get on the back of this ferocious looking dragon.
Do a perception check as you're climbing her.
I want to take its heart.
19.
As you're climbing her, you notice that the scales are very chipped and worn. This dragon is very old.
Oh shoot.
Oh, it's a fucking. What's the name of that dragon in Skyrim?
Oh.
Partha something.
Was it Parthenax?
Parthenax.
Parthenax.
Yeah.
Okay.
On her back, there are what appears to be metal plates riveted in. They don't seem to be used by anything, but it looks like they're broken off from something a long time ago. Tabitha gets onto where her shoulders are and lifts her staff, and she says, "Come, Scotty, let's return to the village." And with a mighty updraft, Scotty takes to the skies and lifts you up. You feel like this rush of cold wind as you almost lose your grip. You hang on to this dragon, and you will all fly back to the druid village.
Wow.
Didn't go as I expected. Okay.
No, oh my god, things, my mind.
You go past Lake Vancouver, and as you're going over the waters, you see beside the lake there is indeed a small settlement. You see fires being lit and like several tents that are woven out of mammoth tusks and like stretched hide. You arrive at the druid village, and Scott D lowers herself, allowing you to disembark.
You're just gonna stand with a dragon the whole time and be like, that was fun. Yeah. Wasn't scary at all. Nope.
So that's how it feels like to fly, huh?
I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Bro, you don't even know.
Tabitha, she steps off of the dragon and beckons to her people. I've brought another one back. Do you remember young Yuriko here? She's grown into a powerful woman, she says. Come, let them see you.
Really overwhelmed. I will hesitantly get off of Philomena and approach everybody.
Before you, there's a small crowd now. Some of them are young, and a lot of the ones that stay in their post, they are more elderly. But you don't see that many that are your age. They are apprehensive for a moment, but they get closer to you and they place their hands on you, and it feels familiar again to be surrounded by family. They rush over to you and they hug you. Welcome back, one of them says. What do you do?
I look back and these are my friends. Please
Hi.
welcome them.
Any friend of Yuriko's is a friend of ours. Welcome to the druid village of Lake Vancouver. She gestures toward a large hut that seems to be illuminated inside. I apologize for having to cut this business short, but we have a very urgent matter to discuss.
I'm sorry, but I thought all of your people died, Yuriko. I'm sorry for reading, but...
So Tabitha said, you have not seen the village before the reaping. Our village was much larger than the dozen or so you see here. There were hundreds before. It was like a full civilization, basically, that was destroyed. The ones that survived were the ones that were able to escape before Adamance and his troops came. We banded together, and we went to seek our vengeance. But Crescent's Peak managed to repel us, so we were driven north. The humans are not acclimated to the weather here, so we're safe up here.
Well, it should please you to know that Adamance is no longer alive, for I have taken his head myself.
Tabitha, she usually has a very stoic face, but she cracks a small smile. She says, your parents would be very proud of you, Yuriko.
Aww.
Like, I'm sure wherever they are now, they are smiling upon you.
I'm sorry, Yuriko, but we have business?
So Tabitha leads you into the hut. Inside the hut, she says, if there's some food for you here, go ahead and take what you need. On a large table, there appear to be various fruits, nuts, everything that's been harvested from the area, as well as a uncooked and gutted stag.
Yum.
She just says, go ahead and eat your fill. I'm pretty sure you must be famished.
Yes.
All of you are handed a slab of uncooked elk meat. Enjoy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Abner. It's polite.
The dragon pokes its head in through the tent, but can't actually fit inside the tent, so it's just there to talk to you. So, Tabitha gestures to the white dragon. She says, Skadi, you know this better than I do. Tell us what is going on. Skadi begins to speak. Do you know why this region is called the Silver Claws?
We heard about a ferocious dragon that cut through the mountain with a single claw. It's on the map.
Maybe that's what the legends told you, but those 3 claw marks for which the Silver Claws were named were etched out by the claws of a primordial named Isvander. Within the Elifu Vitor Mountains, he lays it dormant, but his presence can be known. His agents, the frost giants you encountered, they are returning, and they will not rest until he is freed from his prison.
Okay, so big primordial beast is coming, and you want us to kill it?
Yes. Isvander is trapped within the mountains, but his essence is flowing out. You remember from the map earlier that there are rivers all across the Vale. That's basically Isvander bleeding his essence into the material plane, and from those waters spawn his minions. Deep inside that mountain, which is always iced over, it never thaws, even in the hottest of summers. There's a portal somewhere in there that will lead into Isvander's prison. We must go in there.
But that doesn't make sense, though.
What do you mean?
There shouldn't be portals around this area.
What?
Don't listen to him.
I'm just making fun of Jarek.
Oh my god.
I was like, what? I didn't contradict
You're
myself.
unnatural.
I know what I was doing.
Okay, nice.
Way to derail.
I know, right?
She,
We were all like, what are you talking about?
I guess I'm the only one that wants to give Jarek a shit.
So somewhere in these mountains, there's a portal to Isvander's prison where he is escaping from. We must go in there and put an end to him now, or he will be released and he will usher forth an eternal frost.
We fought against one of its minions, a Titan, and it almost killed us. You're a gigantic dragon. I'm sorry, I have no other way of putting it. You could do away with us in one swipe. Why can't you take down this beast?
I do not have the ability to reach the portal and invoke its magic. You know how big and bulky she is.
Alright, so the plan. Go in there, stop the portal.
Open the portal and we can all go through it, and I will finish what my ally started thousands of years ago.
Your ally?
I am the last survivor of the battle that sealed away Isvander. I was of a group called the Flamebrand Sedition, and my rider, a warrior named Calypso, was the one who rode me as we battled against Isvander's forces. And after my injuries, for untold years I slept, until I saw these people again, who offered to help heal my wounds.
How long ago was this? I'm sorry, but my only experience with dragons has been very, very bad. I've never truly spoken to one until you.
Tabitha intervened. She says, Skadi was actually the reason why there are still some of us here. With Skadi at our side here, we can battle against Isvander's forces. We have what we need now.
Yuriko?
Well, to be honest...
Actually, hold up. I was like, Yuriko, can I go speak to you for a second?
Sure.
In private? So we're gonna step off out of earshot. We need that heart.
That's not important right now.
What about all your progress?
If this thing gets out, then all that progress will mean nothing.
That's true. But let me ask you something. Some of your people are alive, and this dragon is not bad. If we stop all of this, are you still gonna go for the heart?
That'll be something I'll have to think about later.
Alright. We walk back in.
So have you come to a decision yet?
What do you need us to do?
Prepare yourselves as best you can. We head to the mountains once we're ready.
We've had a long day, and we need to rest. We can head out later.
Thank you. Tabitha's talking to you, Yuriko. We are very grateful that you are still alive, and we apologize that it could not have been under less duress, but we are truly grateful that another one of us survived. Please, rest and eat your fill. The journey lies ahead.
Really want to find Azula, though.
I know.
With that in mind, that is actually the end of the first section. You have arrived at the Druid Village. You have learned of the true threat that is threatening you right now, and you have found the White Dragon. What happens next is entirely up to you, adventurers.
So,